Assalamu alaikum. I'm Yasir Mahmud is with you, and you all are welcome to my YouTube channel Dream Academy. Our FB page link, WhatsApp number, and YouTube channel link provided here. So please like our Facebook page and subscribe our YouTube channel. So today our topic is IELTS writing task 1. Today I'm going to share some tips and techniques and going to solve a question so that you can understand how you should answer the question. So let's start. So here, criteria for making, criteria for marking IELTS academic writing task 1. Here are the factors and here are the marking criteria. For vocabulary, for vocabulary you will got 25%, for coherence and cohesion 25%, then task achievement 25%, and grammatical range and accuracy 25%. So in these 4 criteria, total 100%. And now here another thing, IELTS writing task 1 based on report types. So there are 6 type of reports in which you should answer. So first here, pie chart, then bar chart, third here, line graph, then number 4, process diagram, number 5, IELTS table, and number 6, map diagram. So mainly among these 6 topic, you will given just one topic, maybe pie chart, maybe bar chart, or some other, so that you should answer them. So how you can answer them and some tips and tricks are discussed here. So here, upward movements. So for upward movements, here are 4 tips. First of all, you should use advance, climb. These are the upward movement. Expand, go up, grow. It's grew, grown. Past participle form. You can use increase, rise. So the rows are reason past and past participle form. Here you can use boom, explode, jump, leap, rocket, shoot up, soar, take off. When the upward goes suddenly in a big amount, then you can use all these words. Then creep up, and here almost, approximately, more or less, more than, double, triple, or quadruple. So these you can use in the bar chart. So I will show you in today's topic, because today I'm going to show you how you can solve a bar chart. Then for downward movement, here you can use collapse, crash, dive, plummet, plunge. Then you can use decline, decrease, drop, fall, go down, shrink, sink. So never try to use the same word repetitively. Like, don't use decline in all of the line. Try to use some in some sentence decline, then in another sentence decrease. Okay. Then here is the third one, approximately half. Okay. For big changes, what should you write? Dramatically or sharply. So when you can see a big change in the pie chart or any kind of diagram or table, you can use dramatically or sharply. And for small changes or slow changes, you can use gradually or slightly. So all these words are very important, so you can write down in a note, so that it may be helpful in your writing. So now the main part, I think, in this video. So watch this video carefully from the beginning to the end, so you should be benefited. So let's move the main topic today. So here is the question. And today's question I have taken from Cambridge 15 book, and this is the test 1, task 1 of writing test. So at first, when you have the question paper in your hand, at first go through the question properly and very clearly. First read down the questions. Here is the question. The chart below shows the result of a survey about people's coffee and tea buying and drinking habits in 5 Australian cities. So you'll have to write about Australian 5 cities and the people's coffee and tea buying and drinking habits. So here, summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So here is your bar chart. So Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide and Hobart. These are the 5 cities of Australia. So here, look at here is the blackbird shows. Here is the blackbird. So blackbird is indicated bought fresh coffee in last 4 weeks, and this one, the middle one, the striped bird, it indicates bought instant coffee in last 4 weeks, and the plain silver or ash color, you can say, this indicates went to a cafe for coffee or tea in last 4 weeks. So here at first, in the first line, look, the chart below shows or displays the result of a survey about people's coffee and tea buying / purchasing and drinking or consumption habits in 5 Australian cities. So look at the question as first. We will have to paraphrase. This question. So here, what should I do? I will have to paraphrase it. How we can paraphrase it? By using synonyms. So we'll have to use synonyms here. So let's watch. So we can write here the bar chart, because this is a bar chart. So here the bar chart below, we should erase it because it is in our question. In our answer, we should not write it down. So instead of shows, we can use displays. So the bar chart displays the result of a survey about people's coffee and tea buying. So instead of buying, we can use purchasing, and instead of drinking, we can use consumption. So now, what the sentence is look like now? The bar chart displays the results of a survey about people's coffee and tea purchasing and consumption habits in 5 Australian cities. So here, then the chart. So at first, look, we'll have to write about Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide and Hobart. If you want to get a good band score, you will have to comprise the main differences of the habits of people. So here we can write the chart. The chart depicts drinking habits in 5 Australian cities as they relate to coffee and tea over the last 4 weeks. Then we can give an overall idea about the chart. Here, overall, more than half of the population in all cities except Adelaide went to a cafe for coffee or tea, while buying instant coffee was almost also popular and buying fresh coffee generally less common. So here we again use, instead of purchasing, we use buying. So try to use different synonyms in your different lines so that the examiner can understand your vocab knowledge is very depth, and you should score a good band score if you do so. Then people went to cafes for coffee or tea in the last 4 weeks in Melbourne and Hobart. So now we are discussing about Melbourne and Hobart. So here is the Melbourne and Hobart. So look at the birth chart of Melbourne and Hobart. So here what at approximately 64% and 63% respectively. So here is two words, approximately and respectively, which are marked as in red color, because when you cannot recognize the percentage exactly what percentage it is or was, you should use approximately. So it will give a good score. And then respectively, try to use this kind of linkers or this kind of word. Then Sydney was slightly. Here another word is slightly. You should use this kind of word, like slightly when something increases rapidly. Again in the same thing when increases rapidly, dramatically, when there is a big changes, and when there is small changes you can use slightly. Sydney was slightly high at just over 60%. So here we use over 60%. Okay, followed by Brisbane. Now we should go to the Brisbane. So Brisbane at over 55%, because we cannot identify the exact proportion here, exact percentage here. So we'll have to use like this kind of sentence, approximately or over, below. Then and finally the topic is for Adelaide. So let's move to the Adelaide. Here is the three bar chart. Black is under 35%, stripe is nearly 50%, and the silver bar chart is below 50%. So what we should write here, finally Adelaide at under 50%. So it is under 50%. Okay, so Adelaide was the only city where people bought more instant coffee by a slight margin, 50%. So here we should use slight margin. Okay, so this kind of word will help you to get a good band score. So always try to use this kind of word, which is very important to use in your writing. Task 1. So now move to in Hobart's instant coffee purchases stood. So look, sometimes we use buy, sometimes we use purchase. So you also use this kind of synonyms. As earlier I said that stood at 54%, which is ahead of Brisbane at 52%. Okay, Melbourne 48%. Here at first what I say that when you can comparize between the 5 cities, then it will help you to get a good band score. So sometimes try to compare what is given in your bar chart, what informations are given in the bar chart. Try to make comparison between all this topic or all this data. So here is lastly. So instead of lastly, you can say eventually. Eventually is much more better word than lastly. So eventually Sydney just over 45%. Okay, then the ratio of purchased fresh coffee was below 45% for all cities. It is most common in Sydney 45% and Melbourne 42%. So try to relate this writing with your this birth chart. So try to write all the information regarding this birth chart. Okay, and in the last sentence we will have to go to Hobart. Hobart was next at 39%, and Adelaide and Brisbane were much lower and nearly level at around 34%. So much lower. So there is a should use much lower, and here and nearly level at round. So try to use this kind of words in your writings. So if you can write by following this kind of techniques, this will help you to get a good band score, inshallah. So in your writing you will can achieve a good band score. So here again I just overview. I'm giving you the overview. So here at first we'll have to make a paraphrase from the first line of the question. So the chart, instead of the chart, we'll write here the birth chart. In the place of shows we use displays. Look, we use what? Displays, shows. Then the result of survey about people's coffee and tea buying. Instead of buying we use purchasing instead of buying. And then in the place of drinking habits we use consumption habits in 5 Australian cities. So try to make some paraphrase in your writing. Try to use some word like approximately, over, lower, slightly, nearby, grammatically. So if you can use this kind of words, then it will help to get a good band score in your writing, obviously. So just again here, so here are the main things you will have to, you may find in your question paper: pie chart, bar chart, line graph, process diagram, IELTS table, or map diagram. So today I discussed on bar charts. So the next classes I will try to solve some other charts or diagrams so that you may be helpful. Okay, and these are some important vocabulary which may help you to write your task 1. So make notes on it and write it down in your note, so you can be beneficial in your IELTS writing task 1. So for today that's enough from me. In the next class I will give you some extra tips and techniques on task 1 or task 2, inshallah. So thanks for watching, and assalamu alaikum.